Hi, it's Colin Kelly here with Do Business Smarter. And in this quick video, I want to share with you how do you build value into your services before you discuss price with a customer. The reason that it's so important to build the value into your products and services before you discuss price is that once I know your price, it's impossible to build value beyond that point. And that's why so many people end up haggling over price. You get the customers who are beating you up on price because they don't understand the value that you're bringing to the table. You end up feeling unappreciated. You know how important you are. You know how important the services and the products that you bring to the table are and how they're going to help them. But they're haggling with you over the price because they don't see the value. So you feel unappreciated. You end up working even harder for your money to try and satisfy each and every customer, even though they're not paying your full price. And eventually, unfortunately, if you keep doing that, it's only a matter of time until you burn out. So the solution is to build value. Get really good at building value into what you sell. Because when you get good at building value into what you sell and how you present what you're selling, your customers will happily pay your price. They won't beat you up on the price point. You end up making more money in less time, so you're able to enjoy the fruits of your labor, and you get to have a life again. So we were explaining this concept in a forum recently, in one of our business owner forums that our clients come to for business owner training. The subject was your selling system and how to build value. I got an email that afternoon from one of our clients who said, "Colin, great forum this morning. I love the discussion, got great ideas, and I totally understand now that this is one of the areas I need to improve, is how to build value into my business." And then she said, "I'm sorry to be dense, but how do I do this?" And I realized immediately, of course, that she's not the dense one, I'm the dense one, because obviously I didn't describe how to do this. Sure, we talked about how other clients have had great success with this and how to build their step-by-step selling system, but we didn't get into how do you actually build value. So that prompted me to create this quick video to understand the process in building value. So let me tell you a quick story that really points out how this works. Let's say you're in the market for a new gardener and you call up Bob's gardening service, and Bob says, "Yeah, I'd be happy to give you a quote. Let me come by and see what you've got." And you say, "Great, let's get together at 5 o'clock today." Bob says, "No problem." He swings by at 5 o'clock. He's a little late, but no big deal. His truck pulls up. It's a bit beaten up, but most gardening trucks are, right? He hops out. He's a nice guy. And he walks around the yard and he points out some of the flower beds and the trees, and he asks you if you want him to take care of those too. And you say, "Yeah, that'd be great." And he stands and he goes, "Great, that's no problem. I could do your yard every week for just $45 a week." And he stands and he says, "But he's been in the business 20 years and customers love him. If you decide you want to use him, to give him a call." And you say, "Absolutely, that you're going to talk to a few other gardeners, but you'll probably give him a call by the end of the week." He says, "Great," shakes hands, hops in his truck and drives off. So your next call is to Celtic Creative Landscape Maintenance. So the phone answers and you hear a friendly voice saying, "Thank you for calling CCLM, where the grass is always greener. This is Patrick. How may I help you today?" And you say, "Hi Patrick, yes, I'm interested in getting a price on weekly yard maintenance." Patrick says, "Great, let me set up a time where I can come out and see your yard and see exactly what it is you're looking for." I'm pretty booked up at the moment. Let me see, I could come out tomorrow afternoon at around 4 o'clock. And you say, "Super." And Patrick says, "Great, before we hang up, if I can just get your email address, what I'd like to do is email you out a confirmation of our appointment. And in that email, there's going to be a little link to a garden profile that I'd like you to fill out. It'll only take you a couple of minutes, and it'll just help me be ready for our meeting tomorrow." Are you already thinking this is quite different to the Bob experience? You say, "Yeah, no problem." Patrick says, "Great, I'll email that right out to you, and if you could fill it in today, that'd be wonderful, and I'll see you at 4 o'clock tomorrow." So you hang up the phone, and sure enough, an email is there from Patrick, and it's got just 4 or 5 questions about, do you have pets, do you have children, what kind of trees you like, what kind of flowers you like. You enter it in, takes you less than 2 minutes, and you're all set. So 4 o'clock tomorrow rolls around, Patrick's truck pulls up to your driveway, immaculate looking truck, and it's got his wonderful slogan, "Where the grass is always greener," on the side, and he hops out and he's dressed in clean jeans and a logo shirt, and he's got a clipboard and his measuring tape, and hands you his business card, introduces himself, and you start to walk around the garden, and he points out the flower beds, same as Bob did. But Patrick goes, you see how those flowers are kind of dying? That's because they're in too much sun. They should actually, those particular flowers need a little more shade. In fact, if I was you, I'd move them over to this flower bed. And he points out one of the trees that looks a little off colour, and he says that tree is going to need some more fertilising because it's starting to starve. He's taking notes all the time you're walking around. And when you're done, he says, if you could do me a favour and turn on your sprinklers, just so I can see what's working and what's not. And while you're doing that, I'll prepare your instant quote. And he goes over to his truck, and you turn on your sprinklers, and he's in the car for a few minutes, and he comes back up to you, and he hands you three pieces of paper. The first one is a sketch that he's done of your garden, and in the sketch it points out where the sprinklers are, it points out where the trees are, and he's listed the names of the trees, and he's listed off the flowers that are in each flower bed. He's pointed out where one of the sprinklers is not working properly, that would need to be replaced, and that's why that patch of lawn is not as green as it should be. The second sheet of paper is a calendar, a 12-month calendar showing the schedule of when he'd be able to come each week, how he would take different sections of the garden, so he could do a deep dive in those sections on different weeks. So every section of the garden at every quarter gets a deep dive attention. And the third page is his client agreement, a month-to-month client agreement that includes a service guarantee. Are you already afraid of the price yet? Okay. In that service guarantee it says if you're unhappy at any time, we completely refund 1 month of service, no questions asked. And he asks you if you have any questions before you talk about price. You say, no, this all sounds wonderful. And he says, great, well, we could do all of this for you on a weekly basis for just $55. And you're thinking, wow, much more professional, seems to do a lot more than Bob. Bob's a nice guy. Then Patrick says, I'm sure you're talking to other gardeners, and you should. You mentioned in your profile form that you love palm trees. So just as a thank you for letting us quote your garden, here's a little sapling of a palm tree. It's only about 3 weeks old, and it's got an instruction sheet how to take care of it. You can plant it anywhere in your garden. I'd recommend that corner because it's the perfect spot for it. And it's just our way of saying thank you for letting us quote your garden. He says, so while you're making up your mind on who to decide, one last thing, we do also offer a quick decision bonus that if you decide to sign up with us, we offer you a 4-man-hour cleanup, where we'll have our guys come out on your first day. They'll stay for an extra 2 hours, 2 guys, 2 hours, and they'll move those plants that we talked about. They'll fertilize that tree properly. They'll do a cleanup in this area. They'll fix that sprinkler. They'll get all those things fixed before we even start into our regular maintenance, if you decide to sign up with us within 48 hours. And he thanks you for your time and says he'll follow up with you in a couple of days to see if you're ready to move forward. Are you wowed? I know I would be. He's educated me. He's given me value. He's given me a gift. He's given me a reason to call him within 48 hours. Wow. Not your typical gardening guy. But here's the kicker, folks. Here's what I want you to take away from this and to really understand. He does exactly the same work as Bob. He doesn't do anything extra. Bob would certainly fix that sprinkler and fertilize that tree, and he'd do all those things. But because of how Patrick presents it, he's able to charge 20% more for the same work. He closes 4 out of 5 appointments. He gets 3 times the referrals, and he keeps his clients longer. Not because his work is any better than Bob's, simply because he builds value into his presentation before he discusses the price. If you compare the two, Bob does a needs analysis appointment. He talks about the features, he gives them a proposal, and he tells them, I'm great, give me a call. Whereas Patrick does a little bit of qualifying before the appointment. He does a pre-appointment value building email, does the needs analysis appointment during which he asks questions, he educates the prospect, he adds value with his sketch of the garden and the calendar, he gives a proposal and a guarantee and a gift, and he creates urgency with his 48-hour special. The work is exactly the same. Folks, you can do the exact same thing for your business. And let me just give you a framework to be able to do this with it. Build value into your services. You analyze the features of what you offer. Break them down into the components. You analyze each and every feature you provide to the client. You build up benefits of each of those features. And then you create supporting components. Like in Patrick's example, his 3 sheets of paper. Create some supporting components. And then you develop your story. You develop your value building story. So you analyze the features, build up the benefits, create your supporting components, and develop your story. And that's what builds value into your services before you ever get into discussing the price. Folks, I hope you found this helpful. If you'd like more information, please go to our website at dobusinesssmarter.com. If you have questions, feel free to post them on our Facebook page at facebook.com/dobizsmarter. And we look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thank you for listening. See you next time.